licenses. We're heading back to the floatplane port down here at Waterbase Inn, and we'll be on our way to Ruffo's Sportsman's Lodge. Hi, I'm Kent Danjanovich, your host of this edition of Sportsman's News Television. We're a little north of the border in Saskatchewan, Canada, with Ruffo's Sportsman's Lodge. After a little flight to Saskatoon and then about a 3.5 hour drive to L'Orange, we've come by floatplane now, about a 20-minute floatplane ride to the main lodge here at Ruffo's, and well, I'll tell you, what a gorgeous place. For those of you that have fished in Canada, know what I'm talking about. It is just a beautiful part of the world. And boy, we're looking for a great week of big northern pike. This particular area is known for their big pike. In fact, it dwarfs a little bit the size of the walleye in a lot of cases. Even though there's tons of walleye for forage, they don't have quite as much of a chance to get as big because the pike are so big. This morning we're also going to have a little chance to fish for some big lake trout, and so boy, just can't wait to get our lines wet, and I know you're going to enjoy this edition of Sportsman's News Television. Great fish, looks like a brother to the last one. You don't get a chance too often in a lot of these places we go to fish for pike to be able to actually do a little bit of wade fishing, but our guides are over there getting a little shore lunch ready for us, and so I'm just taking a little opportunity to go around the edge of this little cove here by a rapids area. These areas can be very, very productive. The fish are staging out in here. There's so much movement in the water, a lot of bait fish, and that's the fly I've been using right there. It's just a large streamer style. I really like red and white. The red seems to give a little bit more color in the water as maybe a wounded fish. And then if you notice, there's always quite a bit of glitter there to give it even more attractant for those fish to spot as they're going through the water. You know, one of the reasons why all of us go on these type of trips to the great outdoors is to get away from the everyday life. And here at Ruffo's Sportsman's Lodge, you're really catered to all of your needs. If you want to get up early and get out on the lake as fast as you can, they'll accommodate that. If you want to sleep in for a while, have a late morning, that's just as fine as well. So the normal schedule here is they'll bring coffee and juice to you at 6 a.m., breakfast at 7, and then you're on the water by 8 o'clock. Of course, many people's favorite part of the whole trip are the sensational shore lunches, fresh walleye, fresh pike, even lake trout if you prefer that. And so these guides really know what they're doing when it comes to a hot skittle, and they can make a great shore lunch. you can really fish as much as you possibly want. These guides will take care of you. And another thing as far as the guides go is that you know, most lodges have what they call modified American plans, and what that means is that you can actually fish on your own. You do not have to have a guide full time. And so here at Ruffo's, you can use a modified plan if you would like, save you a few bucks, but you can use a guide anytime you want to, just pay the extra per day for that guide. But I would highly recommend a guide on most of these trips. They know the lake like the back of their hand. They know the tackle you need to use. They know the techniques, and you will have a great experience on these guided fishing trips. And Ruffo Sportsman's Lodge is a perfect example of that. Last week they said they were catching them approaching 50 inches, so there really are some great northern pike here. You know, the fishing season up here really ends up being quite short. Most of these lodges open up around the end of May, and some of them are open here at Ruffo's. They're open till the end of August. And so when you really think of it in the realm of the calendar year, that's a pretty short season. But you can gauge the time you want to come here by how you want to fish. Now, for fly fishermen, a lot of times the first weeks after ice off are the very most productive. And so I have gotten to the point where I like to go the first, second, or third week in June to make sure those weeds haven't gotten up in a lot of the bays too high for me to be able to cast my flies effectively. Now, the thing about that is these fish are coming out of the spawn, and so they're coming out to eat, so they're pretty aggressive also. So that's why fly fishermen early in the season can be so effective. Now, as you get into the warmer months, up here really the temperatures never get above about 80 degrees, and they'll still stay in the very comfortable range. So don't think you're going to come up here into July and August and be so hot you can't stand it, because that is not the case. Remember, you're still in the wilderness and you're a long ways north. And so the months of July and August, these weed channels have formed so well that those fish again now all of a sudden start getting very aggressive, and they will just attack your lure or whatever you're using to fish for them at that time of the year. So don't be afraid to come in the a little bit later into the season. You know, a lot of people start thinking that June is the month. Well, that's not always the case. I'll tell you, that month of August can be absolutely fantastic for northern pike and walleye. change today. We're actually doing a little portage over to another lake system here. You know, the one thing about this area, this big Churchill River system is massive. And really the water system up here, it's just a big moving river in most cases. Of course, today we're going to go to a little bit different lake. It really specializes more in big northern pike and tons of walleye again. So let's take a little walk down the trail here and make it to the other lake. You can catch literally hundreds and hundreds of walleye a day.
That's a big one.
Oh, yeah. So I'm here with the owner of Sportsman's Lodge, Ruffo Schindler. And Ruffo, tell us a little bit about your operation here. How long have you actually been in business?
Well, I've been in the business for 35 years, but we've had Sportsman's for 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about maybe the area. You know, one thing that we've talked about during our few days here that we've been fishing is that the different opportunities you have for fishing out of the main lodge here. It's almost like having a remote outpost camp right here at the main lodge.
Right, no, exactly. Well, we're very fortunate because, you know, we've got, all our best fishing right out our front door. So it's a fly-in, of course, to get to us, but once you're here, there's no other flyouts necessary because we have access to the Churchill River and so many different lakes on the Churchill that you could actually fish a different spot every day of your stay.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. The fishing's been great. The accommodations are neat. Tell us a little bit about what you have as far as how many people you can take at a time, what your lodging setups are like.
Yeah, we can handle 30 people very, very comfortably. All our cabins are fully modern. They all have complete indoor plumbing, either 2 or 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms per cabin, propane or oil heat, 24-hour electricity, of course. So yeah, real nice setup. So very, very comfortable.
Well, great. You know, if you want to talk to Ruffo or his staff about all of his packages, timing of the year to come for specific type of fishing needs, don't be afraid to give them a call and check them out on our website at Sportsman's News or on www.ruffosportsmanslodge.com. Here this morning, and we're gonna, you see it's a little bit foggy. We had some rain yesterday, our only day we've had rain this week, and we're gonna do some trolling for some lake trout this morning. Ruffo Sportsman's Lodge. Well, we've come to the end of our trip here to Ruffo Sportsman's Lodge in Saskatchewan, Canada. As you can see, we've had another great morning of lake trout fishing here on Lake McIntosh, and I just can't tell you how great of an experience this has been. First class operation. They do an excellent job here. The guides are fantastic. This part of Canada, you know, the one thing that we've really enjoyed is that there are so many opportunities here as far as bodies of water to fish, different techniques to use. We've had great experience with fly fishing, spin cast, bait cast, trolling for big lake trout, and for both the walleye and for northern pike also. Every technique you can imagine, we've had success here. So we're proud to have them as one of our newest platinum approved outfitters. And the next time you're looking for a great outdoor adventure, give Ruffo's Sportsman's Lodge a call. And thank you for joining us on this edition of Sportsman's News Television.
Sportsman's News Television is sponsored by Barnes Bullets, unleaded, unfailing, and unbeatable. Vortex Optics, the force of optics. CVA muzzleloaders, it's just a better gun. And Sitka, turning clothing into gear.